Okay, so, we love to dig into the weird and unsettling, and this one you brought today is really right up there.
Yeah, this one's pretty wild.
Villa Cypress,
Mm-hmm.
Silent Lake,
Mm-hmm.
ancient cypress trees, whispers of local legends. And then right in the middle of it all, you have this disappearance of Dr. Elena Vargas,
Yeah.
a marine biologist who, it turns out, had a deep personal history
Hmm.
with this very lake.
Right.
Feels like we're not just dealing with a simple missing persons case here.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You know what struck me right away looking at the stuff you sent over was this sense of place. You know,
Yeah.
you've got a location that's just saturated in folklore,
Yeah.
and then you have this disappearance of someone who's so clearly tied to its mysteries. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like begging for a deeper look.
Yeah, and so okay, let's start with Elena herself. She wasn't just, on vacation there. She was a brilliant marine biologist who went to Silent Lake for a very specific reason,
Right.
to find out what happened to her father,
Yeah.
who had disappeared decades earlier at that same lake.
Mm-hmm.
So you've already got this, weighty family history uh, woven into it right from the start.
It really adds another dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you know what's really striking is how Elena's disappearance mirrors her father's.
Yeah.
Like no signs of a struggle, nothing was stolen, just poof, gone. It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever took them both could be connected somehow.
Yeah.
And it really pushes us to consider things, beyond just a random accident or a simple crime. There's
Yeah.
got to be more to it.
Absolutely. And then there's that message
Oh, yeah.
that was found on Elena's boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just drifting there.
Creepy.
Super creepy. They know what I did.
That's all it said.
That's it.
Wow.
Chilling, right? I mean, just that one sentence opens
Yeah.
up so many possibilities. Who are they?
Right.
And what did she do? What are your initial thoughts there?
Well, the vagueness is kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's meant to make you think. It could be anyone, right? People she thought were watching her.
Right.
Maybe even something connected to the lake itself,
Yeah.
something she found during her research. And then there's the what I did part.
Right.
Did she uncover something huge? Something she felt she had to share? Or did she do something with consequences she didn't foresee?
Right.
It really gets the wheels turning.
Yeah, and this is where your sources start to get really interesting. Elena's investigation led her to some really strange discoveries in the lake.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get wild.
Unidentified DNA, radiation levels way higher than normal, and these bizarre sound recordings.
Sound recordings.
Sound recordings. Nobody can figure out what they are.
That's not your average lake, is it?
No. No, it is not. What do you make of all that?
Well, when you see unidentified DNA, that's a pretty big red flag, right? It screams undiscovered life.
Right.
And then the radiation, it could be natural, like some geological quirk, but it could also be something else.
Something else like what?
Well, you think outside the box. Could it be technology? Maybe even some kind of biological process we just don't understand yet.
Yeah.
And those are really fascinating. Are they trying to communicate with us? Is there something going on down there that we're just not equipped to even grasp?
It's spooky.
Yeah, it is.
So with all these crazy findings swirling around,
yeah.
of course people start coming up with theories.
Of course.
Right. Trying to make sense of it all.
Exactly.
We've got secret government experiments, mutations caused by pollution. People even start talking about the supernatural.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
It is.
Yeah.
What do you make of that whole range of theories?
I think it shows you just how much we crave explanations, right?
Yeah.
Even when those explanations get really, really out there, like when we encounter something truly bizarre,
Yeah.
our minds just naturally start exploring every possible avenue, from the scientifically plausible all the way to, the totally unknown.
Right.
It's how we make sense of things.
Makes sense. Now, your sources also mention these two local fishermen.
Oh, yeah, the Silver Brothers.
Yeah, the Silva brothers. They're always out on Silent Lake.
They seem to live out there.
Yeah, and there's this this feeling that they know more than they let on.
Like they're holding back.
Yeah. What do you think is significant about them?
Well, think about it. They're on that lake day in and day out.
Right.
So they're going to notice things,
Yeah.
changes in the water, the behavior of the fish.
Yeah.
Any little detail that's out of place, to me, they're like the eyes and ears of the lake.
Yeah.
And the fact that people think they know something special, well, that just adds another layer to the mystery, doesn't it?
It does. So Sheriff Torres picks up on all these clues that Elena left behind,
Yeah.
And he ends up making a pretty incredible discovery.
What's
A
that?
hidden underwater cave.
Whoa.
And inside, an abandoned submarine laboratory.
A submarine lab under Silent Lake.
Under Silent Lake, this is where the story takes a huge turn.
Huge, yeah. What do you think it means?
It completely changes our understanding of the lake's history, right?
Mm-hmm.
It means there was serious clandestine activity going on there.
Right.
Somebody had the resources and the motivation
Mm-hmm.
to build a secret lab in a lake.
And keep it hidden.
Yeah. And the big question is why?
Right. Who built it and what were they doing down there?
Yeah.
It's a big mystery.
And as if that wasn't enough,
There's more.
there's more.
Yeah.
Inside the lab, Torres finds evidence of genetic experiments.
Genetic experiments.
Yeah, and voice recordings in a
Oh.
language that nobody can identify.
Wow. This is getting more and more intriguing. When you say genetic experiments, what comes to mind?
Well, considering Elena's background and where the lab was found, I think it's safe to assume they were messing around with aquatic life.
Yeah.
You know, maybe studying them, maybe trying to manipulate them, maybe even creating new life forms.
It's a chilling thought. And then the
Yeah.
recordings in an unknown language,
Yeah.
that really throws a wrench in things, doesn't it? Makes you wonder if some group or nation was involved that we haven't even considered yet. It adds a whole other layer to the secrecy.
Exactly. But the real game changer here is the discovery of Elena's diary.
Oh, this is where it all comes together.
Yeah. What she wrote in there is truly mind-blowing. Elena believed that there were intelligent creatures living in the lake.
Intelligent, like smart.
Super smart. She thought they had advanced intelligence.
Wow.
They could communicate telepathically.
Telepathically.
Yeah. And she even suspected that they could control aspects of their environment.
That changes everything.
It does.
It really does. Suddenly, those anomalies start to make sense.
Yeah.
The weird DNA, the strange sounds, maybe even those high radiation readings.
Yeah.
It's not some outside force messing with the lake. It's the lake itself. Or rather, it's something living in it.
Right. And get this. She also theorized that these creatures were the inspiration for all the local legends about the lake.
Oh, so the folklore was actually rooted in truth.
That's what she thought. And she believed that her father had stumbled across them too before he disappeared. So she was following in his footsteps, trying to prove scientifically what the locals had been saying for generations.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like, you've got science and folklore colliding, and it's all happening in this one lake.
Yeah, and here's another twist.
Okay, there's more.
Elena wrote that the Silva brothers,
The fishermen.
the fishermen,
Mhm.
they knew about these creatures too. And they had made pacts with them.
Pacts, like deals.
Deals.
With lake monsters, what kind of deals could they possibly make?
That's the question, isn't it? It implies some kind of relationship, an exchange of some kind.
Right.
Maybe the brothers gave them something they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they got something in return. Knowledge of the lake's secrets,
Yeah.
better fishing hauls, protection even.
Ooh.
It makes you wonder how deep their connection to those creatures really ran.
And it explains why they were always out on the lake.
Yeah. So Torres is down there in that lab, piecing all this together, and things start to get really intense. The
Oh,
lab starts shaking.
like an earthquake.
Yeah. And strange lights appear in the depths of the lake.
Oh, no.
And then he sees it, a creature made of light and shadow, just like the ones from the Villa Cypres legends.
This is insane. It's like something out of a movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Totally surreal. And it makes you wonder, maybe those legends weren't so far-fetched after all. Maybe there really is something down there.
It blurs the lines, doesn't it?
Yeah, between folklore and reality.
Mm,
And during this encounter, this is the really wild part,
yeah.
the creature shows Torres memories
Memories.
of Elena and her father. And he realizes that the experiments that were happening in that lab, they were harming the lake,
Mhm.
disrupting the ecosystem.
So the lake was fighting back.
Yeah. It was seeking revenge. It makes that message on Elena's boat even more chilling, right?
They know what I did.
It sounds like she might have been involved somehow, or at least she knew what was going on. And maybe her actions right before she vanished were her way of trying to fix things, to protect the lake.
Wow. So Torres escapes with Elena's diary and the recordings.
Yeah. But Villa Cypres is forever changed.
Of course. How can it not be?
People are scared. Nobody knows what to believe anymore. Their whole understanding of their home has been shattered.
Can you imagine finding out that the lake you grew up swimming in is home to, whatever that thing was,
Yeah.
and that it might be angry?
Yeah. A lot to process.
Yeah.
And we're left with so many unanswered questions.
Right.
What really happened to Elena?
Yeah.
What did those creatures, what did the Silver Brothers promise them? And what's going to happen next?
It's like we've only glimpsed the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of our deep dive into Silent Lake. We've explored evidence of secret experiments, intelligent aquatic life, and the possibility of a lake seeking revenge.
It's a story that shows how science can lead us to the very edge of legend, and how the consequences can be devastating.
And it makes you think about the stories we tell,
Yeah.
ones that get passed down from generation to generation.
Mm.
Maybe they're not as far-fetched as we think. Maybe they hold more truth than we give them credit for.
That's a great point.
So here's something for you to ponder.
Okay.
If there really is advanced life in Silent Lake, and if human interference led to all this chaos and tragedy, what does that tell us about our responsibility when we explore the natural world?
Especially places like Silent Lake.
Exactly. Places that are full of mystery and steeped in ancient lore.
Mm.
What are the ethical implications of our actions? It's a question that stays with you long after the ripples in the lake have subsided.
Thanks for taking us on this deep dive. It's been eye-opening, to say the least.
Thanks for coming on the show.